See, this is 17.3 exchange of gases. Now I'm dealing with this topic. This is very easy topic if you understand. But just you need to mug up very small things. See, I'll tell you the tricks. Listen carefully. See, for deoxygenated blood and for tissues, for both of them, the PO2 and PCO2 values will be same. Okay. And the next trick is for alveoli and for oxygenated blood, for both of them, but PCO2 will be 40, whereas for deoxygenated tissues, the PO2 will be 40. Okay. Just if you remember this, it's enough. And just to remember another two, that is for alveoli, the PO2 is 104, and for blood, the PO2 is 90. It's enough. These two are not that much important, but if they ask clearly what is PO2 for atmospheric air, and if they not give any approximate answer, then you need to go with 159. Okay. These two you can guess generally if you understood the concept clearly. This is a rough diagram. I'll draw a diagram and I'll explain you everything clearly so that you will understood everything very clear. Before going to the diagram, see, you may ask in 17.1 you left this heading. This heading I left so that I can better make you understand about this. Okay, see, the 5 steps, what happens, clearly they gave in this person. See, first step is what? Breathing or pulmonary ventilation, by which atmospheric air is drawn in and CO2 rich alveolar air is released out. Okay, this is the first step. Step 2 is diffusion of gases O2 and CO2 across alveolar. Okay. Step 3 is transport of gases by blood. Step 4 is diffusion of O2 and CO2 between blood and tissues. Step 5 is utilization of O2 by cells for catabolic and resultant release of CO2. Now, I will say about first step, the first step 4. Till step 4, I'll tell you. Step 5 is not here. It comes under cellular specimens. In botany it comes. In botany it comes. So let us explain these 4 steps. Okay. See, what is step 1? Breathing or pulmonary ventilation, by which atmospheric air is drawn in and CO2 rich alveolar air is released out. If you remember the flow chart, I told you to remember the table now. See, in that what we know, PO2 parcel is 159, whereas PCO2 in air is 0.3. Whereas in alveoli, PO2 is 104 and PCO2 is 40. I told you now, from a higher pressure to lower pressure, the gas diffuses. So from O2, the higher pressure to in alveolar, lower pressure it goes, whereas CO2 from higher pressure to lower pressure diffuses. So this is what happens. The breathing or pulmonation, by which atmospheric air is drawn in and CO2 rich alveolar air is released out. This is what the step 1 is. Okay. Now step 2, diffusion of O2 and CO2 gases across the alveolar membrane. See, this is the alveolar membrane, right? So here O2 and CO2 diffusion is happening, right? You can ask what is the mechanism relation here. I'll say it is also in NCRT. If you see here clearly, the diffusion membrane is made up of 3 major layers: thin squamous epithelium of alveoli, endothelium of alveolar capillaries, and the basement membrane between them. Okay, this is what responsible for exchange of gases. If you see the diagram clearly, see, this is what? This is alveolar wall. Okay, alveolar wall, and middle is what? Basement membrane. Okay, and then what is the last one? This one. This is the endothelium of the blood capillary, and this is the squamous epithelium of the alveolar valve. Okay, and this and basement membrane, and then endothelium of blood capillary. These three together form the basement diffusion membrane. Because of this, the gases are diffusing from alveoli to other centers. Okay. So till now, first step is completed, second step is completed. Now let us move to the third step, that is transport of gases by blood. Okay. Now see, this is very simple concept. Now here comes the main role. See, this is our heart. Okay. Right artery, right auricle, right ventricle, left auricle, left ventricle. See, you know what veins carry? Veins carry the deoxygenated blood. Okay, let us start with the veins. So systemic vein means normal veins, okay, which carry the deoxygenated blood. From the they carry the deoxygenated blood and then take them and keep in the right auricle. From right auricle, that blood goes to right ventricle, and then from right ventricle it goes to the pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery from right ventricle takes that blood, deoxygenated blood, and goes to the lungs. Now in lungs, In lungs, the PO2 is 104. I told you PO2 is 104, whereas the PCO2 is 40, whereas PCO2 is 40 here. So what happens? Here PO2 is high and here PO2 is less. In deoxygenated blood, the PO2 is 40 only. So the O2 goes here, whereas the CO2 here is 45 and PCO2 is 40. So from here the PCO2 goes. So that this deoxygenated blood from lungs, when it is leaving from lungs, it becomes the oxygenated blood, whose PO2 will be 95 and whose PCO2 will be 40. Okay, this is what oxygenate one. See, again I'm saying this black one is oxygenated, black one is oxygenated, okay, and blue one is deoxygenated. For oxygenated blood, the PO2 will be 95, whereas the PCO2 will be 40. This is oxygenated blood, okay. Black one is oxygenated blood and blue one is the deoxygenated blood. Okay, I think it would be clear for you. Okay, now this oxygenated blood goes to the left auricle. From left auricle, it goes into left ventricle. And now from left ventricle, now what happens? The systemic arteries are there now. They take this blood from left ventricle. So they are carrying the oxygenated blood and they transport it to the tissues. In tissues, what happens? In tissues, as you know that there will be catabolic activities occurring in tissues also. So what happens? In tissues, the CO2 will be very high. That is 45 and the O2 will be 40. So again, same thing, it will be diffusing from the 95 to 40 and here from 45 to 40. Okay, from higher pressure to lower pressure, from higher pressure to lower pressure. So again this oxygenated blood becomes the deoxygenated blood. Okay, and like this the cycle goes on. This is what the exchange of gases concept is. I think it would be clear for you. So third step is what? Transport of gases by the blood. This is what the blood is doing. Okay, what is the fourth step? Diffusion of O2 and CO2 between the blood and the tissues. This is what the fourth step. And last step is not related to this chapter. Okay, by this you can understand everything.